Hey everyone, I am your astrologer Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. This is your astrology horoscope for the new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, which happens on Monday, December 14th, 2020 at 11:16 a.m. Eastern Time or 8:16 a.m. Pacific Time. What I think this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius is really all about is about us finally being rewarded for all of our struggles and hardships that we've been through since April of 2019 and possibly even longer. It's about the reward and the blessing from all the hardship that we've been through now that we have worked through all of that and finally overcome it. And because we have overcome a lot of hardships since April 2019 and onwards and are now being rewarded, I believe we are also at this time having a very rare opportunity to get a wish granted in our lives that's been really close to our hearts and to see a dream come true, which then opens like a portal into a new dimension, if you will, full of like new opportunities that we never imagined were possible just a few months and years ago. And I like it a lot and I'm super excited. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Now let's go ahead and hop right into it. In order for me to get started though, what I do like to do first is place this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius on the chart so that you can see what I'm referring to, understand it, and follow along. So I'm going to do that now. In order to get started placing on the chart though, we got to look for the moon. You got to look for the moon, right? This is a new moon. It involves the moon. So we got to look for that. The moon is right here in Sagittarius and it is exactly conjunct the sun at 23 degrees Sagittarius, which makes it a new moon when the moon conjuncts the sun. So this is where it is. All right. And it is a solar eclipse. How do I know that it is a solar eclipse? Well, it's a new moon. A solar eclipse basically just means that it's a new moon. And I know that it's an eclipse because it's close to the nodal axis. This is the south node here in Sagittarius, which is what, 4 degrees away? 4 degrees away from the sun and the moon at 23 degrees with the south node here at 19. All right. And the nodes, this thing that I'm looking at right here, the south node, is basically an imaginary point in space where eclipses would occur if the sun and the moon were there. And here we are, both the sun and the moon, 4 degrees away from the imaginary point in the sky where eclipses occur, making an eclipse. Because the moon and the sun are so close to this south node, only 4 degrees, I should note that this is a total eclipse. This is a total eclipse that we're experiencing here and not a partial one, although that doesn't really change my interpretation of what it would be too much. All right, now what does all this mean? What does all this mean to have a new moon solar eclipse? Well, in general terms, I'll explain it. A new moon is about new beginnings and fresh starts in some way to put our focus or our attention into a new theme or a new thing to be working out over the course of the next few weeks or so. All right. With this being a solar eclipse, what this means to me is that this is a major new beginning, a major fresh start, not just one of these little ones that happen every month, right? We have a new moon every 4 weeks, but a big one, a big new beginning that we've been needing for quite some time. Okay. Because the solar eclipse expands its scope a little bit. All right. And because this is a solar eclipse and because this is a major new beginning, it tends to get a lot of things that have been stuck from the past unstuck and to force things to the surface in order for us to move forward. So what I would say, adding that piece of the puzzle here onto the equation, is that what's going on at this time is that we're experiencing a major new beginning in some area of our life that is helping us to get a lot of things from the past that have been unstuck, so that we can finally move on in a better way without all this old stuff weighing us down. All right, now what exactly is this about in more detail? In order for me to give you more detail about this new moon solar eclipse, I now need to talk about the sign that it is in, which is Sagittarius, where all these little arrows are. Which symbolizes Sagittarius right here. Okay. What is Sagittarius about? Well, Sagittarius to me is about new things that we've never done before in some way, or that we have never experienced. So what does this mean to me? This may sound kind of meta, but that this is a major new beginning to overcome a lot of old things that have been stuck so that we can have major new beginnings. I mean, this is what it is. This is a major new beginnings in big ways to totally like start over in life and reset our life and got our life on some different path, and on some different path that I think is going to be better for us, because not only is Sagittarius about like new things, new adventures, new journeys. Sagittarius is the sign of travel, new adventures, new journeys. But Sagittarius is also a Jupiter-ruled sign. And Jupiter is a lot about optimism and expansion and gifts and good luck, being the planet of gifts and good luck. So not only is this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius about heralding in major new chapters in our life, new adventures, new journeys, new travels, physical or otherwise, it's bringing in more optimism. It's bringing in more passion, especially with Sagittarius being a fire sign, in some way more zest for life as a result. And it's also bringing into gifts, good luck, blessings, good things in order to help us move forward that I can't say enough good things about. I really can't. I think this is beautiful. It's like one of the best new moons of the year, and it's a solar eclipse. So I like it a lot at this time. Not only is Sagittarius here and this new moon solar eclipse about major new adventures, new chapters, new journeys in our life that are going to restore our passion and our zest for life and help us connect more to life and bring finally good gifts and blessings to us that we've been desperately needing for quite some time. But Sagittarius is also about our belief systems as well. So this new moon in Sagittarius is also going to help us too to adjust our belief systems as a result, our beliefs about life, to be better, to be happier, to be more optimistic, so that we can move on. And not only that, I should note, not only is Sagittarius about our beliefs about life, but it's also as well about understanding our lives too. So not only is this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius going to bring major new chapters in our life, exciting adventures, gifts, blessings, passion back to us, that's going to help us to ascend our beliefs, to get our beliefs higher, to believe different and better things about ourselves and what we're capable of and what's meant for us. But it's also too going to help us understand more about ourselves and our journey and what we've been through thus far and where we're going in a much better way so that we can move on. All right, which again, I can't say enough good things about. I really do like a lot. Another point that I want to make too, but before I move on, also is the node part and the solar eclipse part, because the nodes have a lot to do with our destiny in life. The nodes have a lot to do with our purpose in life, with what we're here to accomplish, in life, what we're here to accomplish in the world, what we were born for in some way. So another point that I want to make about this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius is not just at this time are we stepping into major new beginnings, if that wasn't good enough for you. Major new beginnings, new chapters, new journeys, excitement, passion, gifts, blessings, understandings, higher beliefs to help us move on. But these new journeys are helping us to course correct in some way, or to get back on track with our purpose, to get back on track with our life purpose, to do what we were born to do what we were created to do, each as individuals in our own ways, in order to move forward so that we can fulfill our destiny and get a big boost and a big push in order to do so in very, very positive and helpful ways moving forward. So I like it. And it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal because of a lot of other things going on, which I'll explain. And also because this is a solar eclipse. All right. So I think that's what I'm going to say there. Now, before I move forward, giving you any more details about this solar eclipse and the aspects that it's making and what it all means, though, you know me, who, if you watch me regularly, I do like to go backwards in time first in order to give you more of the context about how we got here to this point, and about why this is necessary, and about why this is now a thing that's coming up to occur in our lives or in our consciousness. So I like to do that to give you the context. In order to do that, I'm going to have to go back, of course, to our good friends Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter and Capricorn, which are very slow moving planets and alignments that have been going on for quite some time, and to explain that. What is that about? Well, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter came conjunct roughly around April of 2019, though there are other important points I can mention as well, like January to March of 2020, that these planets were close in. Okay, and what are these planets about? They are about us trying to change, especially since April 2019, change Pluto, the structure of our lives, Saturn, to be something new and different, Jupiter, than what it was for many years and many decades prior, especially 35 years prior, which was the last time that Saturn and Pluto came conjunct. All right, we were changing the structure of our lives to be new and different since April 2019, because whatever our lives were prior to that time, we either didn't like, they were just bad for us and they sucked. And we wanted something that wasn't sucky for once. If it wasn't that, if we weren't changing the structure of our lives since April 2019 to make it just something that didn't suck, then we were changing the structures of our lives since April 2019, because whatever our life was, you're just over it. We were just over it. We've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and we wanted to move on and learn different things and grow as individuals with different experiences. So we were changing our life in order to tie up this old stuff and move on in a different way. And I like to believe that we, by golly, have done it, that we have done it. Really in between the last eclipse, which happened in June, July of this year, and that last eclipse season in 2020, and this one now happening in December of 2020. I like to believe that we've done it, especially now that Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto are finally separating, with Saturn and Jupiter at the last degrees of Capricorn about to enter Aquarius very, very soon. I like to believe that we have done it, that we have finally released these old negative chapters in our life, and these old people that were mean to us or that we didn't like or that we'd grown out of, and these old jobs and these old bosses and these old homes and these old friends and these old situations that aren't good for us. And because we have finally released all of those things, which took a long time. I mean, it's a long time since April 2019, right? I mean, that's quite a year or so, and even longer, I think. If you really had to press me on it, I could give you even time periods a little bit longer than that as well. Okay. It's taken us a long, hard time to do it, to make these changes, to overcome these old things, but we have done it. We've done it. Especially this past month, since the new moon in Scorpio kicked these old things to the curb. And because we have done it now, we get a new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, bringing gifts, blessings, new experiences, new beginnings, new journeys, optimism, happiness, success, joy, bliss, excitement, understanding, all the good things, a higher elevated perspective to see things in a different and better way that we need in order to move on, reaching our purpose or getting back on track to reach our purpose from a better way, resetting totally the scores in our life and moving on. And this to me is a good thing. It's a celebratory moment. Sagittarius is a happy sign. The fire signs to me are all happy signs. And Sagittarius especially is a party animal. Sagittarius throws a good freaking party. So the way that I see this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius is the gift for our struggles, the party after the sacrifice, the party after the hardship, and the celebration after the hardship, in order to say, congratulations, you made it. Congratulations, you made it. Now you can move on in your life in a totally different way from what you once did in the past. Now your life can fork off and you can write a new story with new characters, with the new chapter, without all the baggage of these old things bringing you down. That's going to help us to move on. And it's just, it's good. It's what we've been waiting for. It's what we've been waiting for so long that we felt like never was going to arrive. And now it's here. And it's what I've been talking about for so long in my videos. And now finally it's arrived, and I can start to talk about something other than Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter maybe from here on out. So I like it. I like it. Okay. I like it. I want to stay on that. I want to stay on that before I add other pieces to the puzzle. This is the celebration for this. This is the moment when new chapter, when we put the old person that we used to be to rest, and when the new person takes over and comes to life, the new chapter, the new story, and moves forward. Another note Then I also want to mention too is not only is this the point when our life officially forks and when we officially drop the old baggage, the old person we used to be, the old troubles of the past, and step into a new, better, improved version of ourselves with tons of opportunity and brimming with promise and potential. But this is also the point in our lives, or in the past few years, really, where things start to move fast. I know I've said in a few of my past videos that things are going to move very fast. Things are going to move very fast. Like, things are going to move fast as we move forward. And that really hasn't happened yet. I think we've been feeling things kind of pick up over the course of the past few weeks or month or two, but really the speed at which I'm referring to hasn't even happened yet. And this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius to really the first quarter moon in Aries, which is going to happen a week after this at 0 degrees Aries, is going to be the time that the pace is going to pick up. This is when new chapter in life is here and things are going to move fast. People are going to come into your life that you need. New experiences are going to come into the picture. All this stuff is going to come to fill your cup up, is going to come to fill your arms, to overflow your arms with gifts and blessings to help you move forward very quickly and like right before your eyes, like almost magically and miraculously, in order to move you forward in between now and March. So I want to make that clear too. Not only is this point about blessings for our struggles and major new chapters that are totally reconceptualizing and rewriting our identity and our own life story and how we thought of ourselves, but that this is really the beginning of when things move at the fast pace of which I speak of, especially now that Mars is starting to get up to speed after being retrograde for some time and things are moving on. Now is when things are going to snowball. I mean, that's the word. Things are going to snowball one right after the other, and things are going to fall into place in the ways that you need. All right. So that's what I'll say there in terms of the big picture and the big overview about this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius. So what I want to do now is then go zoom in a bit closer to the specific aspects that this new moon is making. And I think the most obvious one is going to be this new moon here conjunct Mercury, because in between the moon and the sun, which I talked about earlier in the south node, Mercury is sandwiched in between here. So that's the most obvious, the new moon conjunct Mercury. What is this about? Well, Mercury does have a lot to do with our mind, the way that we think and communicate. So what I think is going on at this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius is that we are having lots of thoughts and lots of conversations at this new moon about what? About these new blessings, about these new things that are falling into place in our life, about what we hope to accomplish here, about what went on in the past, and about how things are coming together. Now, are these good thoughts and conversations? I do believe so. This is Sagittarius after a very hard, long journey and long story that's been very challenging and uncomfortable for the past few months and years. So I think these are very good thoughts and conversations about what we're stepping into and about how much we've overcome and succeeded and beaten from our past and emerged victorious about. I think they are good conversations. However, I should note that Mercury doesn't like to be in Sagittarius, and that this new moon is also in a square to Neptune and Pisces, which can also be a bit difficult as well. So even though we are, I think, feeling victorious or having lots of good thoughts and conversations about our successes and seeing some more gifts and good luck and blessings fall into place for us to move forward, I do believe there could still be, I don't know if I want to say confusion. I don't know if that's quite the word I want to use at this point, but there could still be some confusion about what all exactly is going on in our lives and what is happening right before us. Again, I don't think this confusion is bad. I don't think these thoughts and conversations are bad. I think this confusion is not because like horrible things are happening in our life at all. I think this confusion is because good things are actually happening for once. For once, not for once in our lifetime, but for once in like many months and many years, like good things are coming or are happening. And I think that's what's going on here. I think I think what's going on is that we are sensing and feeling major new chapters in life, major new blessings, miracles and magic come to fill our cup, to erase all of the struggles of our past that we've had that we're now excited about. But I think there's a part of us that's like confused, like about why this is happening to us and about whether or not we deserve these gifts and blessings. Like there's a part of us that's just like, this is so weird. Something good is actually happening to me. Did I do something wrong? Am I living in an alternate universe? Because this never would have happened to me beforehand. So I do want to point that out, that there is some kind of confusion and haze and like mental fog that's going on at this really good positive moment in the astrology and in our lives. But the mental haze and the mental fog is not because anything is wrong. The mental haze and the mental fog is because for once things are going right and beautiful. Things are going beautiful, or turning around on a dime, and we aren't used to things being this good, and we're feeling like either we don't deserve the good things that are happening, which we do deserve and we have worked hard for, or we're feeling like we can't trust them. We can't trust them here. And I think what needs to go on with this alignment is for us to really put the fears and the doubts aside, to put the fears and the doubts aside about like whether or not we deserve this life and whether or not it's truly going to last or whether or not it's fake and it's an illusion and it's a mirage. We need to put those doubts aside and trust that these blessings are real, and trust that they are meant for us, and trust that they will be good, and have faith that they will be. Sagittarius is the sign of religion, sign of religion, and Pisces is also a sign of beliefs and a faith and in a higher power and in spirituality. So I truly believe that we could have some doubts at this time about whether or not we deserve the good things that are coming to us, and we need to put those doubts aside and to be cliche, to follow our faith and not our fears, so that we can move forward, because we can trust these blessings, because we have worked hard for them, because we do deserve them, and because now is the time. It's our time to be happy. It's our time to move forward, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we need to allow ourselves to do that. Not only do we need to put our fears behind us and have trust and faith that things are going to be okay, we also, with the Sagittarius influence, need to adjust our beliefs to more of an abundance mindset, more of a mindset of power, instead of one of hopelessness and victimization. We also need to adjust our beliefs in our mindset too, at this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, to be confident and to believe that we are worthy of these gifts and blessings, because we are worthy of them, because we have worked hard, and because they are here, and because believing that we're not worthy of these blessings and that we're not confident and that we don't have what it takes is going to stop them from coming, and is going to take our harvest, which I think is going to be huge, and is going to make it really small. And there's no need to reduce your blessings, when all you have to do is just believe and accept and receive that good things are coming. So that's also some messages there that I want to say. Put the fears behind you, have faith, trust that this is meant for you, that whatever comes to you is meant for you, that you can handle it, that you are worthy of it, and that it is meant for you, that it is yours, that it has your name on it, and go for it. Another reason why I say go for it too is because this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius is making a trine over here to Mars in Aries. Mars at home in Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. Now that Mars is getting up to speed after being retrograde for many months. And what is Aries about? And what is Mars and its home sign in Aries about? It's about instinct. It's about intuition. It's about doing things, not thinking. This is not about thinking. This is not about that. Not with Mercury in a sign it doesn't like to be in Sagittarius. This is not about thinking. This is not about overthinking. This is not about worrying. This is about sheer force of will, sheer desire, sheer passion. This is saying stop worrying, stop being fearful, and just go for it. Do you want it? Do you want good things in your life? Do you want blessings? Take it, go for these things, and take them, not, I don't mean force them, take these things, because these things that you want you. These things that you're seeking are seeking you. These blessings that you want to be yours, want to come back to you. So there's this sense of like, Stop overthinking, stop worrying, stop doubting, stop it, stop it. You can trust what's going on here. You've worked so hard for it. Now is your reward. Don't think, just do. Follow your instinct, follow your heart with the fire stuff, and go all in, and don't let this old stuff that's been bothering you for so long get you down another minute. Don't let this old stuff that's been stopping you for months and years from being happy, don't let it take one more minute of joy from your life. Don't let it take one more minute of like passion and of happiness and of love. One more second. Go for these things that you want. Okay, I know that's a message that I've been saying in a few of my other videos that I've done recently. Like, your instinct is going to kick on, your intuition is going to get on, go for it. But I feel like it's taken us a little bit of time, especially as Mars has still kind of been coming out of its post-retrograde shadow, to get up to speed. And now Mars is at the end of its post-retrograde shadow. It's coming into a square with Pluto and Capricorn, and it's saying, if you didn't trust your instinct before, if you didn't trust your intuition before, if you didn't feel like the time was right before to let go of this old stuff and to move forward, now it is. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. You know, take what's yours, because it wants you. It has your name on it. It's like a gift under the Christmas tree with your name on it. You know, take it. Take it. Because the overthinking is going to stop these good things that are yours from coming, and it's going to create complications where there are none, where there really are none. And when we don't need to create more problems than we've already had over the course of the past few months and years, because we've had a lot of them. We don't need to make things up now, moving forward. Okay. And I think that's the main message. Anything else that I want to add? Yes. There is a thing that I want to add too. And I think it's going to be, well, a few other things. I'll also mention here, Venus at the time of this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius is in Scorpio, making a sextile over here to Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn. So not only is this about doing what's taking the good things, the blessings that are yours, and charging forward on them, you know, especially if you are inspired, intuitively, divinely inspired by your faith and by your passion. Not only is it about charging forward on these things, but it's also about rearranging things with relationships, with money as well, in order to facilitate this other stuff and have the last few pieces of the puzzle fall into place in order for the new life to more fully commence. Because with Venus being in such good aspect, sextile to Jupiter and Saturn, this is going to be easy to do. If you ignore your fears and have faith and believe that you are worthy of these blessings coming into your life and move forward, then it's going to be really easy. It's going to be really easy to adjust these things in your life. And because relationships and money are going to want to fall in line, they're going to want to fall in line to work with you in the ways that it is that you need to move on. Okay. I like it a lot. Okay, perhaps the last big point that I'll say, oh man, I keep saying the last point and then I have other things to mention, maybe a few other things too, I forgot. Chiron is also stationing direct at the time of this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius. So you, like putting your fears behind you, having faith and believing that you're worth these blessings and that you deserve them is not only going to help you move forward on a new life, rearranging things for the better and having relationships and money really beautifully fall in line, get behind you, but it's also going to bring, with Chiron stationing direct very shortly after this solar eclipse, going to bring a lot of healing. It's going to bring a lot of healing where this old stuff that used to bother you anymore just is going to be an afterthought, just isn't going to be a thought anymore, isn't going to be a feeling, it's just going to be gone. You're going to be healed. It's like one day you miraculously, like one day you were sick and in the hospital, and then the next day you were miraculously healed and walking around like nothing had gone on. And there is this feeling going on. I just get this like really magical feeling about this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius where like everything's fixed. Weirdly, after a really hard time, like everything is just fixed. And I don't want to say old things are fixed, because this isn't about old things being fixed. It's like weirdly, old things still suck, but new things fall into place that heal and fix the old things. And the new things come together very quickly and are very beautiful in order to help you move on, releasing this old stuff. All right. The only perhaps challenge I might see at this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, which really isn't even a challenge, I should note, is going to be Saturn conjunct Jupiter at the last degrees of Capricorn as this is going on. What is that about? Well, Capricorn to me is about structure. Capricorn is the sign that rules our skeletal system, our bones, in a lot of ways, like our teeth. It has a lot to do with that. And because Capricorn has a lot to do with our bones, it's what gives our body structure. Like if we didn't have bones, we would just be like a puddle on the floor. So the challenge with Saturn and Jupiter being there is really to take this new life, to take these blessings that are falling into place. Once we accept them, believe they're ours, and charge towards them, it's about taking these blessings and building the structures in place so that they can last the test of time and so that they can move forward with us in the ways that we need. The good thing, I should say, the good thing about Sagittarius and Aries, the good thing about the signs of Sagittarius and Aries is that they are a good time. They are a lot of fun. They get things done. They want something, they get it done. Okay. The bad thing about Sagittarius and Aries is that they're not long lasting. You know, they remind me of like Minutemen, or like here for a good time, not for a long time. And the Saturn, Jupiter, and Capricorn says, none of that. None of that. None of this here for a good time, not for a long time. We got blessings. We need to make them last. We got good chapters in life finally coming. We need to make sure these can be with us long term over time. So the challenge of this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, after we have accepted these blessings and believe they're ours and gone towards them and seen things rearrange magically before our eyes for the better, the challenge really is then to structure these new blessings so that they aren't a flash in the pan, so that they don't disappear tomorrow morning when we wake up, or in the next week or two when we wake up, and so that they can be here with us 6 months down the road, a year down the road, 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, which they have the potential to do at this time. The new things that fall into place now have the potential to be mainstays in our life for a while, really powerful, positive things. So another message of this eclipse is not only to have faith, to believe, and to accept and receive these good things and act on them to maximize them moving forward, because things are going to want to shift with you, but to also take the new stuff and provide the backbone, the skeletal system, the structure in which to manage these things and maneuver them to be something really, really great, and to point them in a really solid long-term direction that is going to move you forward, because it's possible, because these things can be around a long time if you put in the effort and if you put in just a little bit of thought, not even a lot of thought, but a little bit of thought in order to move it forward. Okay. Especially at the last degrees of Capricorn. I mean, the last degrees of a sign are really powerful, and Saturn's about to leave Capricorn, not to be back for another 29 and a half years. So it may be a little bit of a challenge to build the structure in these new things, especially when so many new exciting things are going on. We just want to party after we've accepted it. But once we put the structure in place, things are going to be solid. Like, this is a really powerful moment to lock in. That's the way I see the Jupiter and Saturn, to lock in our blessings, to lock in good things, to lock it down, to put a ring on it, and to move it forward, right? I mean, that's what this is. That's what this is. Good blessings here that we want around for a while. We want this to last, you know, and really trying to make that commitment in order to do that, which can happen if we want it to, which I don't know why we wouldn't after what we've been through. All right. So that's what I'll say there. Now what I'm going to do I want to repeat one more time? I need that. Maybe some of you don't need that. I've got Mercury retrograde in my chart. Like, everything in my chart is retrograde. So I need the repeating. Maybe some of you are lucky and don't have Mercury retrograde natally. I'm not one of those people. So I'm going to repeat now before I move forward, adding a few extra points. What I think this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius is really all about is about us finally being rewarded for all our hard work, especially since April 2019, to overcome old hard chapters in our life and to change it to be something different and better. And this is the rewards of those efforts. It's the gifts, it's the blessings, and the good things finally falling into place in a major way to get us back on track, to move towards our purpose, and to set us up for good things that can be with us for many years and decades to come. I think we're very excited about these new chapters, optimistic about them, and having lots of thoughts and conversations about where we've been and about where we hope to go with what has occurred. But even though we are excited and optimistic about these new blessings and gifts that are coming in and rewards, we could still be a little bit doubtful if we can trust these things or if we really deserve them. And we're going to have to learn how to put our fears beside us and trust that these things are meant for us and will be for us. We're also having to learn as well to adjust our belief systems so that we can believe that we are worthy of these things and move forward on them. Adjusting our belief systems and having faith here that these things are true, are right, are meant for us, is then going to help us to maximize these blessings, to really take advantage of them and to move them forward, rearranging even more things with relationships and money magically and miraculously for the better, and to have even more stuff fall into place. All right. Having these new chapters finally fall into place, and these blessings and rewards, once we've accepted that they are ours, and move forward on them, is then going to require us to take all these new exciting blessings and to really provide the structure and the direction for them so that they can go in the place we want them to go and get the result that we want them to get and be strong and last the test of time moving them onwards. And if we put in that effort to figure out the direction that we want these new blessings to go in and commit to that and put the structure in, it's going to help. It's going to help us really seal the deal and lock in these new chapters and turn the page on an old bad situation of our life and experience healing, real deep soul healing, and cellular restructuring, if you will, so that we can move on. All right, now a few other things. I think I do want to give some metaphors of what this time is like, because there was one in particular that came to my mind that I thought I would share. And because metaphors to me are very helpful. Metaphors help make sense of some things that I've said, or at least, especially if I said something that was unclear, or at least get us thinking in a little bit of a different way about what's going on, which I think is useful. Like, I've got tons of planets in Gemini, so like thinking about things in like 500 different ways from 500 different perspectives is like my thing that I like to do. So I want to give you a metaphor that I thought of that hopefully might help make some of this stuff helpful. Another reason why I want to give you a metaphor too is because, again, Mercury's in Sagittarius. Mercury doesn't like to be in Sagittarius. It's squaring Neptune, another thing it doesn't like. And Mercury in these spots does tend to favor the abstract more so than the practical. So I want to do that. And the metaphor that came to me as I was preparing my notes for this video was the image of a sports image. I don't know how this came to me, considering I'm not really, I don't really know that much about sports. Maybe it's the Mars and Aries that's doing it, but it came to me about what this time is like, and bear with me while I explain this. But this time in the astrology reminds me of like the last game, baseball, in the World Series, like the last final game of the World Series between the last two teams. All right. And the game at the World Series, there's two teams involved, and one of the teams is like the underdog, like not that great of a team. I mean, clearly great if they're in the World Series, but have not historically been great before getting to the World Series. And even in the games that they've played that they've won in order to get to this spot, have like barely made it by. It's like every game has been a struggle, but somehow they ended up getting to the last game of the World Series, where now they're competing to win the whole thing. And they're playing this last game of the World Series, which is where we are now. This is the way I see it. New moon, solar eclipse in Sagittarius. And they somehow, this underdog team happens to have like a man or a person on every single base, about to have like a grand slam and get like 4 people in at once. And And it's about to be right the end of the game, because that's going to put them wherever they are in the innings, way ahead of their opponent in order to win. And it's that point in the game where it's like blessings upon blessings upon blessings, like that this underdog team never thought that they would get to. And it's like this team going up, the batter going up to hit the final thing, the ball, to bring all the men home. And it's like all of a sudden the team kind of choking a little bit, and the team kind of being like, you know, having a little thing on the field where they're calling all these timeouts, and where they're like substituting all these guys in the field for other players, and where they're pitching the ball, but the batter's like hitting it in a weird way. And I just get the image of that going on, and of all the people in the stands and of all the people on TV just being like, what is happening? Like, this is the greatest gift. This is the greatest opportunity. This is the greatest story. Like, this is the greatest story of all time, you know, of like this underdog team comes up, miraculously has this like really beautiful gift that comes to them, like that's so divinely inspired, and this team like cannot accept that this win is theirs, and are like choking last minute, and are making all these really dumb decisions because they don't believe like that it's meant for them, and because they're still hung up on like all these other switches that have gone on with the team over the course of the past few months in order to get here. And I feel like that's kind of where some of us may be, not all of us, all right? Some of us are going to be ready to move on into the new life, but I feel like there's some of us at this point in time who are that team that's like has the most beautiful thing aligned for them, and is like really nervous and really worried about it. And that doesn't need to be the case because from our perspective, perhaps as that team that's like playing and that's choking, like we're so like burdened by all our other things in life that have happened. But from a third perspective of the people in the stand or on TV, or from God's perspective, like it's not that way. We're successful. We've moved on. We've achieved something. We're accomplished. And so I feel like I do. I feel like that could be what some of us are experiencing at this time, that we're having like the most beautiful blessings come to us that are a wish granted, a dream come true, like winning the World Series, a dream come true, like something that we never imagined in our lifetime would ever occur and would ever occur in this way. And I feel like there's some of us who were just choking under pressure in some way, or just like worried or doubtful. Is this true? Is this not? And like doing all these other things. And we don't need to be that way, because from a third party perspective, or from God's perspective, everything is happening the way it's supposed to, and we deserve it, and we need to accept it. So and that's the way it looks from the astrology to me. Like that's the way it looks from the astrology to me, is like so beautiful. It's like the view from solar eclipse in Sagittarius is like everything's great. Everything's great. It's a huge party. It's a huge celebration, and we don't need to choke or to hold ourselves back from like the greatest story ever told, from like the greatest chapter of our lives, or from a really big blessing that's coming to us. And that is a big blessing, you know, like this is, I've been using the term like big blessing, but I want to emphasize the scale of it. This new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius is very rare. It's very rare because it comes after Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto have been in Capricorn for quite some time. And the last time that Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter were conjunct in Capricorn was a long time ago. I think it was like the 1600s or the 1700s. It was a long time ago. And Uranus wasn't in Taurus, I don't think, at that time. And, you know, it's very different. It's, you know, so this is not like an everyday blessing. This is not a blessing that happens like once every few years. Like this is a huge blessing that only happens like once every century, you know, or that happens, you know, only once, twice, and maybe even 3 times a lifetime. So I want to give you that message to say, like, what we're stepping into, the blessings that we're stepping into in life are not small things. They're not small things. They're big things that don't happen that often, that are major dreams come true. They're not just little things that we want. They're big things that we want. And we need to not fear and to not make stupid calls, which really can only come through overthinking, because we really are in a good place, a good place. And there's really no need to like, there's really no need to force anything either, except to show up. Like, that's the thing. If I wanted to go back to like the baseball metaphor about the World Series, like that's the thing with that too, is that the team that's like has this beautiful story about to unfold, this beautiful underdog story that will be like told forever in like Hall of Fames, not only are they like choking by overthinking, but they're also missing the point. The point here is not that they have to perform. The point here is not that this team at the World Series and miraculously has this miracle happen. It's not that they need to be something that they're not. It's not that they need to try to be something that they aren't being. It's not that they need to force things. It's literally that they just need to be what they are and to accept what they are and to show up. To show up, that's like the battle. Half the battle is showing up. So, and once they show up and just accept, then things happen. So another message that I want to give you is not only that the God's eye view, the universe's view of your situation is like a much better than maybe what some of you think it is, especially those of you who are overthinking things and having fears, which some of us may lean more towards than others, but also that like there's no need to overdo things either. All you need to do is just show up in your life, show up with these things that are coming to you that are good, and just be who you are and just be present and just be there, and move your lips and say something, and like things are gonna magically work out. They're gonna work out in your favor, and it's gonna flow around you in the ways that you need in order to carry you onwards. Okay. Because I'm just telling you, I like it. This is not a consolation prize. Like whatever's about to happen at this, or is in the process of happening at this new moon solar eclipse, is not a consolation prize. It's not like, oh, you didn't get what you really wanted. Oh, you didn't get first place, so now you get like third place. This is like, oh, you didn't get first place. Well, now you get like something even better than first place. So I want to emphasize whatever's going on here is not like a consolation prize. Whatever's going on here is more than what you had before, is more than what you've lost. That is now coming in order to move it forward. And all you need to do is accept it and to feel it, and to trust it and to let passion overtake you and to be there, to be there and to be yourself when the opportunity arises in order for you to move it forward. Okay. Because it's good. It's really good. It's not a consolation prize, and it's got your name on it. Okay. So that's what I'll say. The next thing I want to do now is read some inside degrees. Read some degrees about what's going on here with this eclipse in order to give you even more different ways of thinking and looking at things. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm actually going to read a few. Maybe what I'll do is I'll start by reading 23 degrees Sagittarius, because that's the degree of the new moon solar eclipse itself. And I'm going to start by reading the inside degrees, which are written by a man named Elias Lonsdale, who created or wrote or channeled in some way these inside degrees about what each of the degrees of the zodiac means. And what he says for 23 degrees Sagittarius is this: immersing yourself in the field of new ideas, fresh approaches, and innovative paths imaginatively and energetically. So what that means is that this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius is going to bring new ideas, fresh approaches, innovative paths, opportunities, and things you didn't even think of before that are now arriving, that are going to bring imagination and passionate energy back to your life. It also says this: 23 degrees Sagittarius, exposing yourself to possibilities, visions, ways to evolve. So it means these new things that are coming up are going to propel us forward into the future to help us evolve and grow by quantum speed, in ways that we haven't before. They're going to help us to ascend, quantum speed in order for us to move on. It says the body's wisdom, musically and in touch and in tune. So our body knows things. Our body knows things that our mind doesn't know. Our body knows things that we need to trust at this time, and we need to feel. Like there's something about, like, especially with Mars and Aries, like feel what you feel, you know, the situation, and go with your gut, go with what you feel, because it's going to bring you back to life and move you on. Okay. Sensing, it says this, the body's wisdom, musically in touch and tune, sensing the resonance of cellular awakening. Like there's this need to feel, I do feel like Aries is kind of like a tactile sign. Like there's a need to feel the experiences of what's going on, especially as things take hold in reality, because it's gonna awaken something within our soul and bring us back to life in a way. It also says it's eager and enthusiastic and bright, seizing upon opportunities, openings. A lot of that, seizing on opportunities, not because we have to, because we feel it. We feel it because we want to. The next line says, needing to know just how it feels, needing to know just how it feels to be free, to be joyous, to be unrestricted here in the body, in the world. You seek the full-on motivating spark of knowing what it feels like to be tuned out and discovering what it really means to be tuned in all the way. I like it. What's this? It reminds me of the Walt Whitman poem, The Body Electric. Something about there's something electrifying going on here, and I think it's in a physical way. I think we're feeling it in our bodies. I think we're feeling it in our soul. I think our external reality is mirroring it in some way. That's going on. That's exciting. That's exciting, you know? Feeling what it's like to be here and now in the present instead of stuck in all these old things and reverberations of the past. If we allow it, this feeling to have space to grow and to move forward. So it's a good thing. Also, I want to read the Sabian symbol, not for 23 degrees Sagittarius. I didn't like that one as much, but for 24 degrees Sagittarius. The Sabian symbols were written by a man named Dane Rudhyar, who's a very famous astrologer who is no longer alive, for sure. He's no longer alive, but he does great work, or did great work. And the inside degree the Sabian symbol for 24 degrees Sagittarius says this: the reward, keynote, the reward which meets every effort at integrating into a social environment for those who remain true to their own selves. So that means to me, for those of us who throughout all this struggle and hardship since April 2019 or longer have remained true to ourselves, we now get the reward. It says at the very end, this is a hint that good fortune is going to bless you. In case you didn't trust me, I like the inside degree, passion for 23 degrees Sagittarius, passion, excitement, new streams, innovative approaches, a lot of electrifying feeling pulsing through the body, if you will, as we get things going in a different way, and good fortune and rewards coming. Okay. I'm trying to decide if there's anything else that I want to read. Yeah, maybe there's one last point I'll leave you on. This is more complex, a little bit of an advanced astrology point here, but another thing that I want to read, in addition to the inside degrees for 23 and 24 degrees Sagittarius, is also going to be the opposite. It's going to be the opposite. 23 and 24 degrees Gemini. Okay. The reason why I want to read that is because this is a solar eclipse conjunct the South Node. And sometimes when you have planets conjunct the South Node. The South Node is what we're meant to get away from in life. Sometimes when you have the planets conjunct the South Node, which is not our destiny. Sometimes when you have planets conjunct the South Node, it propels us forward faster towards our destiny, the North Node. The North Node is what we're meant to go towards at this time. The South Node is what we're meant to move away from with the solar eclipse conjunct the South Node. So what this solar eclipse in Sagittarius is doing is propelling us, especially with Sagittarius being the sign of the bow and arrow, the archer, is propelling us out of old hard things here and towards our destiny, which is the North Node. What is the North Node about in Gemini? Gemini is about making something familiar, making something more comfortable in some way. So what this indicates to me is that this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, bringing new blessings that are good for us and gifts and rewards, is actually going to help us feel comfortable faster, feel more at ease, Gemini, North Node and Gemini in our life faster, feel more familiar in our life faster, take all these new things and settle into them faster, now having gotten to the real thing that's meant for us that we want. So it's going to propel us forward in that way. So I also want to read here 23 and 24 degrees Gemini for a minute, just to give you another alternate perspective on what is going on at this time. Okay, being the ultimate goal of which this new moon solar eclipse is catapulting us towards in some way. All right, 23 degrees Gemini, and the inside degrees says this: intervention by your own greater self within the patterns of the personal story. So this to me indicates intervention by a higher power at this time, coming at this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, in order to what? Grant a vision. A vision is granted, a way is shown. Give us a way forward. That we need. Another thing that 23 degrees Gemini, the inside degree says, it says this: the truth that takes you by surprise. So much is opening. All you need to do is be there and ask. The expanded eye aimed directly at you and drawing you through. So again, I think this is more confirmation of some of the other things that I've already felt, but I did want to read it. And another thing that strikes me from this inside degree is the truth that takes you by surprise. So especially with a bunch of planets about to head into Aquarius, which is a surprising sign. Another point I didn't say is that these blessings may take you by surprise here and may come when you least expect it, but are going to be very good at showing you a way and moving you forward. And that God is going to be there. The higher power, spirit, universe is going to be there, opening pathways that felt closed before. And the last thing that I'll read, since I know I've kind of skipped around and read a lot, is going to be the Sabian symbol for 24 degrees. And I do like this a lot because this inside degree says, maybe I'll just read parts of it. It says, keynote, the use of inhibiting circumstances for the development of character and a transcendent approach to the environment. Triumph over entropy. Where a person uses a negative experience in order to bring something really beautiful. So the last note that I'll leave you on is not only this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius going to bring big blessings that are going to show us a major new way before that may catch us by surprise, that a higher power is going to help us to do, but also that this is going to be the triumph over challenges, and is going to be where we're able to take a lot of the things that we've learned that have been really hard for us in the past and use them as a platform and a stepping stone to greater things instead of a stumbling block like it may have felt in the past. Okay, and that's what I'll say there. Just so I don't ramble on anymore. What I should know, my videos that I normally do on YouTube are about 35 minutes on average, but I've just done my videos a bit longer, really since that new moon in Libra. Maybe it was like the full moon in Aries. I've just done my videos a bit longer because this time in the astrology is so influential and is major. And I feel like because it's so major, it needs extra attention and metaphors in order to impress that upon you and prepare you. Now, your card for this time period, for the new moon, solar eclipse, and Sagittarius, is the Devil reversed. What is this all about? Well, the Devil upright is all about clinging to old things, bad situations, bad people, bad places, or people in places that just weren't for you. And with the Devil being reversed, it's like we're escaping the Devil. We're escaping these hard things that is not meant for us. We're letting go of these bad chapters. We're letting go of these other things, and we're being open to if we want to go this way, we're being open to God stepping in, or to a higher power stepping in, instead of being chained to the Devil and all that old thing. So I like it. I like this card. I like it being reversed, saying we are ready. We are ready finally to let go of these old things that had their hold on us, and to embrace different things that are better for us, and to move forward on that, and for God to step in and take over. Another thing too that's very interesting about this card is that it's got like Saturn in the background too, and the Devil is typically correlated to Capricorn in the astrology, and Capricorn is correlated to Saturn, and Saturn in the astrology is about to leave Capricorn at the last degrees. So another thing too that this also means to me is that we've completed the Saturn and Capricorn cycle. We've completed some kind of hard cycle of hardship. Saturn typically does have to do with hardship and restriction, so that we can graduate, and so that we can move on, and so that it's not so grueling anymore as it used to be. So those are some interpretations there. Letting go of old attachments, and being open to fill our cup with new things, and to have God step in to replace the challenging stuff, and releasing a lot of burdens and a lot of hardship, so that we can move on, completing that cycle and stepping into easier times. The card at the bottom of the deck, two major arcana. Surprise, surprise. Not a surprise when you have a new moon, solar eclipse, and Sagittarius that's this big. That's this big. Okay, and the card at the bottom of the deck is called Art in this deck, because this deck is slightly a non-traditional tarot deck. This is not a Rider-Waite tarot deck. This is what's called like a Tot. I think that's how you say it, a Tot or a Thoth tarot deck. So it's slightly non-traditional here. But this card is called Art, but it's Temperance. This is Temperance upright. And Temperance to me is a lot about healing. It's a lot about healing. So I think there's also a lot that's going on, clearly, because Chiron is stationing direct during this time period, for us to release old things, accept new things, release hardship, and heal. Another thing too that the Temperance card to me is also about the balancing of masculine and feminine energies, and the balancing of energies as well, to bring them back to a normal space, especially because Temperance is usually depicted as like an androgynous person, and in this case is both like a man and a woman, like pole dancing or something, or holding a rainbow, dancing around a rainbow, which is what this deck is really all about. So I also think too, to add that component on, that us releasing these old things, accepting the new stuff, allowing God to step more in universe in our life to bring us blessings and happier times, is helping us to heal and to bring more balance into our lives as individuals, and with the masculine and the feminine in some way as well. Temperance, and Temperance is also like a Sagittarius card too, which is interesting. Yeah, I do see that it's helping us, and too, I can't ignore the fact that this card is still called Art. So not only is like us releasing these old things and accepting the new, helping us to bring a lot of things back into balance in our lives and heal, but it's also helping us to create something different. I feel like in every single one of these videos that I've done for the past few times, I've mentioned something about like masculine and feminine energy and a lot of sexual energy going on, and like, I mean, how can you deny it when you see a card like this? Like a man and a woman, you've got the moon above the woman's head, the sun above the man's. They're both naked here dancing, and it's called Art. And I think like sex is a form of art, so I'm like, there's something very creative going on here with a lot of like sexual life force energy as well, if it hasn't come back already, starting to come back in order for us to move on and to be joyful again. I mean, the people in this card are dancing, and art is a joyful experience. So there's a lot of healing going on here. There's a lot of healing as a result of releasing these old things. That's bringing back passion, bringing back creativity, helping us to start a new cycle, to make this new cycle whatever we want it to be. Like, that's another message, especially with Saturn moving into Aquarius very soon, within days after the solar eclipse. This time period isn't about us accepting these new things and then going back to life as normal. These new blessings that are coming in are about us accepting these new things into our life that are good for us and creating something totally different and more beautiful than what we've had before, in whatever form it needs to take, and allowing that to happen. So another message too. Sure, we need to structure this new life, but it doesn't have to be traditional. We can structure this new life in any kind of way that suits our fancy, in order for us to move on. Art. Yeah, and it's like a cauldron too. There's like some kind of alchemy that's going on, like at this time, bringing more joy and shifting things in life for the better. And look at this, the card after Temperance at the bottom of the deck is the Star, which is the Aquarius card, right? The Star has to do with Aquarius. We've got Capricorn and Aquarius both represented here. Saturn's about to move into Aquarius where it hasn't been in 29.5 years, you know? So, and the Star's upright, and the Devil's reversed, and the Devil is better reversed than upright, in my opinion. So I'm telling you, something's good is going on here. And oh my gosh, you're never gonna believe this. After the Star, feeling like we're in the right place at the right time. This is about divine timing, working out and being now. This is about now being divine time for things to finally fall into place, the Star. But behind the Star, we've got the Hermit reversed, which again is about overthinking. Quit overthinking and trust and stop being alone here. Be out and about with people they want to help. And then after the Hermit, we get the Chariot reversed. Okay, again, it's reversed, but it's still a major arcana, big deal. Which to me is also saying, you know, it's a Cancer card. Follow your feelings and go with it. And then we get the card, the Four of Swords. Upright, truce, rest, relax, be at peace, be at ease. So major things are happening here. We're releasing finally old attachments to old people and old things that were never good for us anyways, that we were never meant to be with, that just weren't for us. And releasing these old things is opening us up to new and better things to finally fall into place that are going to be easier, that are going to be happier, that are going to help us to heal and find so much joy and passion to create something totally different in our lives than anything we've ever experienced, that's going to be better, and that's going to put us in the right place at the right time, and that we're going to feel connected to in some way. And that's all going to start to happen for us now in the ways that we need, as long as we don't overthink the Hermit. Get out of our heads and allow ourselves to feel and things to work out in their own way, which is going to bring Four of Swords, rest, peace, relaxation. This card is also represented by Jupiter and Libra in this deck. Better relationships, more balanced relationships, more fair relationships, more understanding about with relationships that we need to move on. So good times. I don't know what to say. I don't know how many ways I can say it. Now, this new moon is one we've been waiting for a long time. That's going to turn things that were bad around on their head out of the blue. If not already before this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, then very soon after, in the week or two after it, leading up to that full moon in Cancer. And I think it's going to be good, and I hope you all are feeling it and continue to feel it and make the best of it, because we don't have to. I do believe in free will, but I hope that you all do feel it and make the best of it, and that you that just have a great Christmas, I suppose, because I'm not going to do the next full moons after Christmas, and that it's everything that you hope it would be and more as you move forward. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.